Good afternoon and welcome to our second session on Augustus and his smile. It's been so lovely to hear so many positives about this book and I've really enjoyed reading it as well. So let's wait and see what the next part's going to be about. Now today for our background knowledge and key vocabulary, I have put our keywords into 3 different sentences and you'll see that they are highlighted in green. Today we're going to think about our skill of clarifying and particularly thinking about breaking the word down and reading around it. Now my first sentence, all 3 of these sentences are not about Augustus, they are just random, says he shrugged and padded down the hall. Now if I don't know what the word padded means, I can break it down. So I've got the word pad that I recognise and I can read around it. Now when I think of pads, I think of, well particularly for lions, I think of the pad of their paw, the soft material there. I also think of a cotton pad, something quite soft and spongy. He shrugged and padded down the hall. So I'm imagining that it's almost like a way of walking. He shrugged and walked down the hall, but it tells us a little bit more about how he does it. Next sentence. He obeyed and sat across from her, shifting in his seat several times. Now from the word shifting, I can see the word shift. This doesn't actually help me too much at the moment because I'm still not really sure what the word shift means. So I'm going to read around the word. Now he obeyed means that he did what she asked him to do, and he sat across from her so he could see her, and he was sat down in his seat and he was shifting several times. Now what I think that means is moving from side to side. Maybe this character is a little bit nervous at this point. My final sentence is he went to bed but soon realised he wasn't tired. Now I can see the word real there, but soon real he wasn't tired, but that doesn't really help me at the moment. He went to bed but soon realised he wasn't tired. Now if you realise something, I think this means you become aware of it. He went to bed but soon figured out he wasn't tired. So it almost means like you're fully aware of something, you understand it clearly. So similar to yesterday, we're going to keep on looking at our George Spicer talk frame. So look for our sentence stems as you're reading today and look to see if you can use them in your talk. So for our reading for meaning, we have the same skill focus as previously. It's okay to practice the same skill. And often, even if we become quite confident in a skill, it's still good to go over it and practice it. And remember that we don't want to sound like a robot when we read, we want to be fluent. So bear those in mind today. So now we have the teacher read aloud. On the right hand side you can see some of the sentence stems that I'm going to look to use today, but I also might use some others as well. Augustus padded further and further through shifting sands until. Now this ... is called an ellipsis and often it's used to make us excited for the next part that's going to come, almost like a bit of a cliffhanger. Now we know the word padded earlier meant almost like soft, slow footsteps, and I think here the fact that I know it's on sand makes me remember a time when I've been on the beach and had to walk particularly wet sand. It could be quite difficult to go across. Maybe last year when you went to Frinton you had a chance to walk slowly across the sand. Now it says here it's shifting, which almost means moving, so maybe there's some wind or the weather's making this sand move. Pitter patter, drip, drop, plop. Now in my head I'm visualising Augustus looking up and seeing these huge water droplets coming down. Augustus danced and raced as raindrops, bounded and flew. So dance and race here describe Augustus, bounded and flew describe the raindrops. So he's dancing and he's racing. So this part makes me think that he's running really quickly because of the word race. But dancing makes me think that he's also being quite elegant in the way that he's doing it. I'm picturing a dancer moving through a routine, moving through a crowd, maybe bobbing, weaving. So he's really trying to steer clear of those raindrops. He splashed through puddles bigger and deeper. He raced towards a huge silver blue puddle and saw there, under his nose, his smile. Now the author has used the words huge and silver blue to describe this puddle, and I'm thinking in my head that it would look like if you've ever been to maybe a river's edge, or maybe a really big deep puddle as been described, and you look into it, you almost see your reflection. So he's raced once again. So he's danced, he's raced towards this big puddle and noticed that his smile was there. But was his smile in the puddle, or did Augustus just have the smile on his face? Now this is your chance to read your part. You'll notice on the right hand side I have put your key skills to be inference and visualizing. And Augustus realised that his smile would be there whenever he was happy. He only had to swim with the fish, or dance in puddles, or climb the mountains and look at the world, for happiness was everywhere around him. Augustus was so pleased that he hopped and skipped and jumped away, smiling. So what's the moral of this story? What have we learnt from what Augustus has told us? He said that whenever he's happy that there would be a smile, and he's listed some of the things that he needs to do to be happy. Think about the message. Now today we have 5 questions and an extension. The first question is a find and copy, but today we're looking for one word, and it says that means the same as this phrase. So this is like a synonym, to move a greater distance. So within the piece of text that we have read today, what one word means to move a greater distance? Question number 2. How was Augustus feeling when it started to rain? Now here we can use our skills of inference. What did he do to tell us how he felt? It doesn't say specifically, we have to infer. Next question. What did Augustus do as the raindrops bounced and flew? So those were the 2 words that described the raindrops. What were the 2 words that described Augustus? You need to find them in the text and tick them. Question number 4. What did Augustus see in the puddle? So if it's a what question, it's a thing answer I'm looking for. Question number 5. What did Augustus do in the story to make him happy? How many different things can you list? Because there's not just one. Now your extension today is to think about where will you find your smile. When you spy the people you live with smiling, can you draw a picture of them and what they were smiling at?